Exhilarating, electrifying, extreme. These are the words we usually associate with this logo, an iconic image that captures the thrill of extreme sports. A name synonymous to energy in over 175 countries, growing in the United States, Brazil, Eastern Asia, and Europe, Red Bull single-handedly created a new market worth over $80 billion. In 2023 alone, they sold 12.1 billion cans. That's 1.5 cans of Red Bull for every person on the planet. Even in marketing, they are at the top of the cliff, funding campaigns so extreme, which not only broke the world record for supersonic freefall, but also became one of the highest live streaming clips of YouTube at that time. This is the level of dominance Red Bull has in the industry, but the story of the bull with giant wings begins from ducks. Born in 1923, central Thailand, Chawea Yuvijia's journey began on a humble duck farm. His parents were farmers, who also sold fruits to support their livelihood. When he couldn't afford his formal education, Chawea had not many choices for a bright future. With limited prospects, he moved to Bangkok to work as a pharmaceutical sales representative with his brother. For many years, he worked as an antibiotic salesman, but Chawea wanted to do more and build something of his own, so he founded TC Pharmaceutical Industries, which imported medications like antibiotics to Thailand. In the mid-1950s, Japan's herbal energizing tonics were making waves and soon reached Thailand. Chawea spent nearly a decade running his business before deciding to create his own version of these popular energy tonics. He also realized the huge demand of energy tonics among blue-collar workers, but at the time, energy tonics were too expensive, and only people in the upper class could afford to drink them. Chawea wanted to create a product that was affordable to the masses, which could energize factory workers and truck workers throughout Asia. After analyzing the formulas of other drinks, he formulated his own energy drink with caffeine, B vitamins, and taurine. He also added large amounts of sugar to enhance the flavor and provide an extra energy boost. He named it Krating Dang, which can be translated as Red Gore, and ultimately became Red Bull. The drink was a hit. It was gasoline in a can. It got people going, and amongst these people was Dietrich Mateschitz. Dietrich was an Austrian man who started his career in marketing for a company that catered to shampoo and toothpaste brands. He was a wizard at his job, which brought him businesses from around the world, leading to constant travels. On one such trip, he landed in Thailand, and that's where things got interesting. As he made his way from Bangkok airport to the city center, he discovered something that became his lifelong passion, Chawea's Krating Dang. Just a few sips of this local energy drink, and suddenly he felt like a new man. It not only made him refreshed and energized, but to his surprise, he found his jet lag had also vanished. Shortly after this, when Dietrich was at Hong Kong, he read in a news article that Wibblavatten is the highest taxpayer of Japan, which was another one of these energy drink companies. Being a marketing genius, he immediately understood that this was a business opportunity he cannot let pass by. These drinks were dominating the Asia markets, but there was nothing like this in Europe, so he made up his mind to market this drink to the West. To be the first mover in the industry, Dietrich made a bold decision to quit his job and started to track down Chawea. At first, Chawea was reluctant to sign any deal, but Dietrich, with his marketing expertise, managed to win him over. After all, convincing people was his specialty. But even with Chawea on board, Dietrich knew it would not be an easy task to raise funds for a product which is still unknown to European customers. As expected, most investors dismissed the idea, arguing that there was no demand for an Asian drink in markets outside of Asia. However, Dietrich always had a different approach. He said, if we do not create the market, then it does not exist. He was so convinced with his vision that he himself invested $500,000 along with Chawea when European investors rejected the idea. Risking everything that they had, they fueled their venture, and with this $1 million partnership, Red Bull was officially born in April 1987. The first major change Dietrich made was to westernize Krating Dong so that it could appeal to European customers. He kept the basic formula but carbonated the drink to give it a party vibe. By placing it in a silver can, he wanted to market it as a premium drink. While he kept the same logo, he opted for a more universal name, Red Bull, which was a derived translation of Krating Dong. With these alterations now, Red Bull was ready to energize the West. In order to get the drink to the masses, Dietrich first targeted college students. They hired student workers to hand out samples at parties, music festivals, and college fests. These students were also given Mini Cooper cars, decorated with giant Red Bull cans on top, to roam around college campus. Another strategy that they used was to aim for pubs and bars, where they targeted young people to throw big parties, and in these parties, they promoted dozens of cocktail recipes using Red Bull like liquid cocaine and jumping jack flash. They also started leaving empty cans of Red Bull at nightclubs so that customers would be curious about this new energy drink. They even hired attractive women as Red Bull girls to promote it. The next marketing technique which Dietrich used was to sponsor extreme sports events. He himself was a big fan of F1, aviation and sports, so he knew how to build adventure as a brand image of Red Bull. In the year 1992, they first created an event called the Flugtag, which is the German word for flying day. In this event, competitors built their own flying machines to see how far they can glide off a platform. So far, the world record for the longest distance flown during Flugtag is 258 feet. They also started sponsoring an adult soapbox race, among other silly and extreme competitions. While most brands rely on storytelling, Red Bull believes in story performing, showcasing a brand narrative of extreme athleticism. A prime example of this was Felix Baumgartner's 2012 Free Fall from Space, a project that cost about $50 million, but resulted in a 13% global sales increase for the company. Expanding their influence in the sports industry, the company now owns 2 Formula One teams, 6 football teams, and a total of over 15 sports teams across 11 sports, while sponsoring hundreds of sports worldwide. Their campaigns are so effective that some experts even say Red Bull started as an energy drink company, but now has shifted to being a marketing company. Even Dietrich once said, "We do not bring the product to the people, we bring the people to the product. We make it available, and those who love our style come to us." It was their marketing strategy that led to the creation of the now famous slogan, "Red Bull gives you wings," symbolizing a product that promises energy, focus, and potential. But there's only one truth in marketing: that it's all a lie. Despite its rapid growth and success, Red Bull has not been without controversy. Due to its high taurine and caffeine intake, it has already been banned in many countries like Norway and Denmark. In 2009, some Red Bull cola samples from Austria was found to have tiny traces of cocaine. Yes, you have heard that right, a cola with an unexpected upgrade. While the levels were extremely low and unlikely to cause any effects, the presence of cocaine in any quantity led to bans in several German states. The case was sorted out soon, but it made a serious allegation against Red Bull's image. And one of the most notable incidents occurred in 2013 when Red Bull faced a lawsuit for false advertising over its slogan, "Red Bull gives you wings." Apparently, it was a fun tagline that suggests drinking the energy drink could give you an extra boost, but not everyone took it as a joke. Benjamin Carruthers, a regular consumer, claimed that the slogan was misleading, and in fact, the drink did not give him any wings. Initially, people found the lawsuit to be quite humorous, and even a bit ridiculous, but as the case progressed, it became clear that the company was in trouble for their marketing practices. Red Bull denied any wrongdoing, but still agreed to pay $13 million with $10 million for consumer refunds.
Red Bull has agreed to pay, check this out, $13 million after some consumers claimed false advertising. Here's the statement. Red Bull maintains that its marketing and labeling have always been truthful and accurate and denies any and all wrongdoing or liability.
After the settlement, they took a good hard look at their marketing strategy. While they were not about to ditch the iconic slogan entirely, they decided to go with wings instead of wings. This clever rebranding helped them maintain the fun of the original slogan while avoiding any legal issues. It was like a clarification, saying, "Hey idiots, We meant wings in a metaphorical sense, no actual flying here. This controversy is considered as one of the weirdest incidents in the history of the brands, which raises some serious questions about the future of marketing, and of course, the legal system. Another legal episode surrounding Red Bull happened in 2012 when Voroyeth Jovica, the grandson of founder Chelio Jovica, was involved in a tragic hit-and-run accident in Bangkok. For years, Voroyeth avoided facing charges, often claiming he was out of the country or too ill to attend court. In 2020, when the Attorney General dropped all charges against him, it sparked outrage across the nation. Many Thais felt this decision showed a double standard in the justice system, where rich individuals could run away from accountability. In response, social media campaigns like #BoycottRedBull gained traction, urging consumers to distance themselves from the brand. The TCP Group, which is the parent company of the Red Bull in Thailand, tried to separate itself from the controversy, but the damage was already done, and people even accused them to bribe the government. This time, no one showed any soft corners for the company, and it left a lasting stain on Red Bull's reputation. The passing of Chelio Jovica in 2012 marked the end of an era for Red Bull, but his legacy continues to thrive through the company he co-founded. By the time of his death, Jovica was the third richest man in Thailand with an estimated net worth of $5 billion. In October 2022, Dietrich also died as the wealthiest man of Austria, holding 49% share of the company. His net worth was around $27 billion at the time of his death. Together, these two pioneers, a Thai farm boy and an Austrian salesman, became the wealthiest individuals in their respective countries. So we can say that Red Bull is the only brand which transformed two hustlers into billionaires of two different nations. As of 2024, Red Bull employs over 17,000 people globally, achieving sales of more than $7.5 billion in revenue. Being the icon of athleticism, the company now sponsors nearly 500 world-class athletes, hosting sports events in which breaking world record is just a warm-up routine. It's a story of a brand that showed the world's most interesting marketing campaigns, a brand that attracted the most bizarre lawsuit, a weird drink that is consumed by athletes doing death-defying stunts, but also by college kids on their first trek. It's a mixer, a caffeinated drink, an energy drink, and everything in between. But the biggest lesson from the story of Red Bull is to not just sell the product, but selling a feeling. Even today, Red Bull continues to sponsor extreme sports and pushing boundaries of what's possible. But there is a catch. A drink that originally had the noble purpose of helping dairy workers and truck drivers is now being sold at almost 6 times the price of regular drinks. As Red Bull keeps growing and trying new things, it might need to raise prices to keep up in this competitive era. But isn't it kind of weird for a company that already dominates 43% of the energy drink market to do so? Now the real question is, do they still believe in their sacred vision, or has the bull flown too far after gaining wings of success? Please share your opinion in the comment section below.